Okay, we'll see who comes back now. Sorry for little technical difficulties. First day back from Mercury Direct.
Yeah, the room's filling up your room's filling up super fast.
Yeah. Awesome. Maybe we just needed a redo. We just needed to
We're
cancel,
back, people.
clear,
We're back.
desmudge.
Yes. We love you too. Brazil in Indiana. Okay.
Ooh. Yes, guys, say where you're from.
Thank you, so stoned weed. You guys are hot. I know, isn't she like the most beautiful?
Reflections.
All
We
right.
love you guys here too. You guys are amazing. You make this all possible, and you keep us inspired.
You do. You really do keep us inspired.
How amazing is this Niall Horan song? Slow Hands. Every woman's favorite.
Cambodia's in the house.
Yeah, I just said that. Phoenix, Arizona. Cali. Sarah Ford. Thank you, baby girl. Mwah. You're too gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Jack
you, Mona.
Astorino.
Washington Heights, New York. Detroit.
Her new hair.
Yes. I am back to my official natural brunette.
Much love, NYC. All right, let's get this party started.
Yes. Yeah, I've been going through a really fun metamorphosis.
Yeah.
Doing it internally, and then you have to
Nice.
match the external. That's what
Exactly.
happens when we go through transformation.
Totally, right? And then sometimes we don't want to go through it too soon externally because we're still
Processing
going through
internally.
that internal
Yeah,
stuff.
I waited.
Yeah.
Like I had been talking to you about, I'd been talking to him about and all my friends for months. I was
Okay,
like,
turn it
okay,
off.
I see this kind of, it's like you see yourself going to the next level, right? And what image that looks like and what kind of archetype or whatever. And so I saw her, right? Even though technically she's me, but I needed to go through my own. There were some other things, more stuff to release, more patterns, more programs to get rid of. And then finally I woke up one day and I was like, ooh,
It's time.
it's time.
I know. It's so good.
And the hair goes down.
And it's perfect. All right, let's begin with the question on your side.
Okay, cool.
Women first.
Women first.
Chivalry is still alive.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it is.
Hello, Karen.
And I love that you said that as like in a positive statement, because I always say chivalry is not dead.
Yeah.
But I like that you said chivalry
still
is alive. So you
alive.
flipped it like on
But
like
don't
saying
you
it as
find
a
like this,
positive.
hasn't this week been so amazing from the standpoint of opening up the heart?
Yes.
Haven't you guys
Are you
felt
guys
it that
feeling this?
love is like either the love that you already have is just amplifying or you
Yes.
feel like it's coming?
Yes.
It's that time. It's that time. You've been very patient.
Very patient.
And now it's coming.
Very soon. Okay, let me find a question. Yeah, we got hearts on both sides for that. You guys are freaking awesome. Love you guys. Love you guys all so much too. You guys make this possible.
You guys are so awesome.
Let's see. What do you do when you eat late at night and then feel guilt? Oh. that's a good
Late at
question.
night and feel guilt. That's
So I
a
don't think
fair-
it has anything to do with late at night. I think it has to do with guilt. What do you
Yeah,
think?
it has to, because so I used to have this thing too where I would have cookies at night and the next day I would make myself feel guilty and run to the gym and do excessive exercise, right? And then I was like, but the cookie feels good to me. And so I know that the cookie isn't the problem. My problem is how I'm perceiving it. And so what I would say to you is if it feels good to you, before you do it, ask yourself if you're doing too much of it, right? Where would you be happy? Find that happy medium where you won't regret it the next day and then have to kind of guilt yourself or all that. But the main thing is don't guilt yourself. If it's something that feels good to you in that moment, the next day when you feel the guilt, transmute the guilt into love and then receive that instead. That way you can fill up spiritually. Almost like you're filling up your tank with more love. I hope that helps.
I think that makes sense. So I'm going to start off by, I'm going to read you my tea fortune. So this pertains to you. It says, give peace a chance. I don't know if it's going to be backwards or not, or whether you guys can read that, and whether you guys can read that over on Phil's side. But with that concept of giving peace a chance, what are you making it mean? So what conversation are you having within your own mind that then is guilting you, and where did that first initial guilt concept, the seed of that, where did that come from? Because it didn't come with having anything to do with food and eating late at night. There's a deeper meaning that you're making it, and there's a deeper than fear associated to it.
Oh, and the food is helping you in this instance. It's your catalyst.
Oh, to then see the pattern.
Well, because the thing, so to see the pattern.
Yeah.
So don't blame the food.
The food.
Don't blame the food
It's
because
not the food's fault.
yeah, because here's the thing: the way that energy works, you guys, is even if you got on a diet tomorrow, that energy may just go dormant.
Or it would go into something else.
It would go into something else.
You would turn the guilt into something else that wouldn't have anything to do with
it's
food.
Like masking it.
Yeah.
So actually use
Put
this
it
as
into relationships.
Yeah, so use this as an opportunity to really address the deeper core issue. But keep going.
Yeah.
You had a good point.
No, I like that point too.
Yeah.
That, it has nothing to do with the food, and you would put it into something else entirely. Because like I said, there's a deeper seed there. So once you can find out the meaning that you're giving it, and the emotion of that meaning is the guilt. But the seed, that's where it like first got started, and this could have something to do with like something somebody said, and this could either be a long time ago, maybe it was your mom, or maybe it was like an ex or something like that, and whatever comment they made, you chose in that moment to then believe it, and you then took it on as if it was your own. So you can just as equally choose not to believe it.
Exactly.
Easier said than done.
Easier said.
Right? But being the observer and going into like the meaning that you're making of it, and then the feeling of it is actually the guilt, right? And being kind of stepping back and seeing how all of that is playing out for you, and then what other areas that is also playing into your life. Just stepping back and watching how that is will help you to then kind of disconnect from it, and then from that disconnection you can then choose what you want really powerfully.
And you may choose to then come into more self-acceptance in that point, where it's like, you know what, I enjoy it and I'm just going to own it. And the other thing you can do is you can infuse whatever it is that you're eating at night with that love.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
You know, and you can say, hey, you know, I'm injecting this cookie or whatever with love, and as you eat it, that can actually transfigure you too.
I like that.
So just know that.
And do a little ritual, like in the morning and at night, like love your physical body. Like say, I love you to this
I
thing.
am beautiful.
Yes, this is a suit. Your spirit's inside, but it has its own consciousness.
Right.
And so speaking to it really powerfully and really nicely.
Yeah.
You know,
because
being
oftentimes
good to
we have this misconception that we have to look a certain way to attract the kind of love that we want. And as a matter of fact, the whole time you're in the wrong lane. And when you actually start to just be who you are and love yourself as you are, then you're one step closer to finding that love. And they will love you and cherish you just as you are, because they're going to go for your soul.
Totally. There's a lot of shame attached to that too.
Much.
We push so much on ourselves, and we get it from society and whatever the perfectionistic.
We let media win.
Conversation
That's what we do.
is.
We let it win. We don't need to subscribe to that.
I've had that. That's huge in the entertainment industry. Oh my God, you're picked apart for every little detail of like what's wrong and how can you tweak this and how can you tweak that, and it's so like body shaming. And it took me a long time to then even just be comfortable in my body and be like, I do this for me as opposed to doing this for somebody else.
Yes.
But yeah, we still have that concept of shame and the energy that's in that and the whole conversation, and it needs to just be so loved.
It does.
So loved, because everybody's beautiful no matter what.
Everyone is. How do you know? How do you know when your third eye has opened? I'm just going to address that. Usually you'll start to see when you meditate and you're in a dark room and your eyes are shut, you'll start to see like blue lights or little blobs of energy that move around in a weird way. Or you might even see flashing white lights. And then you might feel your third eye piercing sometimes. So if ever you guys have that feeling where the pineal gland is kind of piercing, that's when you'll know it's activating. But
you get a little bit of a headache sometimes.
You do
like
a little bit
sinus
of it. Totally.
It feels like sinus, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's decalcifying.
And then the thing is, it's not going to just open. And because the pineal gland is a gland and all glands can be further activated, so it's a process, you know? And it's going to be like, it's going to open a little bit, and then the universe is going to feel like you're ready for more, and it's going to send you more, and then it's going to open a little more as you process that information, and then send you a little more. So usually when you meet someone, or if someone's in a precarious situation where they keep getting hospitalized for mania or whatever it is, their third eye has opened way too much, and they're receiving way too much information that they can't anchor. They can't anchor it down. So, but generally speaking, there's nothing to fear as far as the third eye goes. If you do it naturally, you're not using psychedelics, you're not trying to fast track the process, then your higher self will be with you, holding your hand the entire way, and will send you the appropriate information that you need, and then you can expand.
I like doing, and I do this like in the meditation process too, so you can always try a little technique, right? Like light a candle and then stare at the flame. And then when you close your eyes, you sort of see the image of the flame in your mind's eye. And while you're doing that, do a count or a clockwise spiral with your finger, and just imagine this energy just opening up and then getting bigger and then bigger. And I won't go bigger because I'll end up smacking you in the face, but go bigger and bigger. And just seeing that whole center like open up. And remember to visualize it going in front of you, but it also goes behind you. So a lot of people don't talk about the fact that all of our chakra points go in front and behind.
Yeah. And and another quick technique, you can imagine that there's like, if you place your tongue at the top of your roof of the mouth.
Oh, that's good.
Right? That's automatically activating your third eye. And then as you breathe in, you're going to feel like there's a tube that connects up from the roof of your mouth through your nostrils and into your third eye. And then as you take a focused breath, you'll feel like that energy, or that prana, meaning the energy that you build through your breath, starts to get directed up there. And then through practice, you can learn how to isolate the area, very much like if someone goes to the gym and they learn how to isolate their abs or their bicep. You just isolate the pineal gland, and then you send your breath into that. It's like a straw.
It's a psychic workout.
It's like a straw. So exactly. It's a psychic workout. It really is. It's a gland in the body. Totally. And so sometimes you can meditate in more of a letting go fashion, and sometimes you can actually address it more physically.
That's awesome. I dig that. Okay, we've got a fun one. MTB Life 22. What do you do when your ex keeps on popping into your head and blowing my mind, but then I try to communicate and they don't answer?
Do you try to communicate telepathically, or are you sending text?
I think they're receiving and then they're communicating physically, or like whether text or whatever. So what do you do when your ex keeps popping into your mind? So it's popping into their mind.
And then when they try to communicate
like tangibly, then they don't answer.
Okay. The one thing that I would say is if he keeps popping into your mind, it means that he's thinking about you. And we don't necessarily have to do anything with that. You can just kind of observe what's coming in and still choose to not engage. It's good. It's one thing that he's thinking about you, but he needs to conjure up or summon the courage to actually reach out to you himself, as opposed to you reach out to him.
Or herself. I don't know. MTB Life.
MTB
20.
Life.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a female.
Okay.
I just feel.
Okay.
And so if he keeps popping into your mind, it means he's thinking about you. But don't be the one to then initiate. Just kind of observe the thoughts and keep holding a space for him. And then that way he can reach out to you and establish that connection.
And sometimes they're just, so I call them people's energy signature, right? So everybody has a different, unique energy signature, and that's where, we tap in, or we kind of just get this, like, this wave of them, right? And so whenever I'm getting a wave, then it usually pops up, usually on the left side for me, in my psychic vision of, like, either their face, or like some sort of memory about them or whatever that tells me that then it's that person and I can feel their signature. And so sometimes they could either just be thinking about you, it could be a memory, it could be like, it doesn't always, just because we're picking up their energy signature doesn't mean that there's something like tangibly there that wants to like get reconnected again.
That's true. That's a very good point.
Because, I mean, how many times have you maybe just thought of somebody, like an old ex, a long time ago, they just happened to, like, I don't know, you thought of a really nice or maybe not so nice memory of them, right? And you were like, okay, it's just a memory.
And also to add to that, remember there are soul contracts in place. So in the spiritual world, you guys are friends. You guys, your souls are friends. So his soul is working with your soul, not necessarily to engage physically.
Yeah, but the souls are communicating.
Yeah, exactly. To then release those energies of wanting to reach out to him.
Yeah.
So if ever your ex pops up in your mind, it could just be that his higher self is working with you.
Working with your higher self.
No, working with both of you if you're aware of it.
Oh,
if you're aware of it,
right,
then it's working with your higher self and you to then help you evolve. So that's just one thing to keep.
And I always like to say that Mercury retrograde is like the return of the exes. So.
I had a text today too.
So.
I texted Sarah right away. I'm like, really? Like.
I had a few. And every Mercury retrograde. So, consider what there is, like they're either needing to clear out stuff, or consider that maybe there's some other things for you that could be still triggers, and maybe still some upset that you need to still give more love to, or just then really appreciating the love and the connection that you guys had for that particular time, whatever it is, right? But Mercury retrograde always is like the internal, to reevaluate things, but it brings up anything else that then we haven't, just anything that's still kind of lingering on the surface.
Unresolved.
That we would, unresolved, thank you, that then just needs a little bit more love. So check in with that, and maybe there's something that's triggering for you that needs a little bit more love.
Totally. Oh, this is a good question.
I love that.
I've been having negative impulses, sexually that is. How can I remedy this? So the first thing I would say is they're not necessarily negative.
Yeah.
So that's a belief system that you have around sex
that
makes it negative. It could be that you've had many lifetimes, practicing something like Christianity or whatever it is, where it was not okay to sleep around with people or have. I'm not saying Christianity, but anything where that was restrictive for you.
You should or you shouldn't.
Sex is not a negative thing, you guys, at all.
No.
And if ever we perceive it to be negative, that's just a program that we've inherited from our family, our ancestors, in a time where they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Where they would have to preserve their desire, like contain their sexual life force to hopefully be married, because it wasn't appropriate back then to have sex. And those belief systems can get passed down, even 500 years later. So that's the first thing I would probably rewrite in your belief system, is like, you're not necessarily having. It's not negative.
It's not a negative.
But if you have been feeling a lot of sexual energy, I've been feeling it too.
Everybody's been feeling it. It's like heart open, and then sometimes that goes into rude, and then you're like,
yeah, totally.
What do I do with this?
Yeah, and I'd love for you to expand on how to transmute that. But I would say that it usually means, like, for me, the message I've been getting is that it means that love is around the corner. So make sure not to mess up, because the universe tends to send us tests when we're this close to finding love to see if we're going to go back to our old ways
patterns.
Or if we're going to remain true to what we have been visualizing.
Yeah.
And
what our value is, what we really feel like we deserve.
Yeah, thereby, and then thereafter we can meet that soulmate. So, but I would like for you to. He was a stripper.
So I'll tell this.
Oh, and you're gonna find that you're attracted to a lot of people, but that doesn't mean you have to choose them.
Yes.
And you talked about this.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
So so if you guys didn't see that I posted, some guy asked me for my number, or he asked me to take his, and then I said, no, take mine, because I didn't want to be put in the masculine position of them and having to call him, right? And so either way, I'll make this short. So he takes mine, and then he does call, which was very honorable, and then texts me right after. And so then I said, give me your Facebook so I can Facebook stalk you before I decide whether I'm going to call you back or not. Pre-date screening. But either way, once I did that, something didn't feel right. Like, there was some energy. He was attractive, totally super fun. He was like right on, like totally. Here's my Facebook name, right? So I loved that he was on board with it. Totally rad dude. something energetically, I was like, no. Like, just, it's a no. And I, like, for the first time, I want to say, it was super clear, super aligned, and I listened to it.
As opposed to
To,
previous situations?
I don't know, continuing on or whatever, trying to make something out of it because, I don't know what, we want love so badly, or we want to have connection with someone, and so we're willing to do whatever it takes to then, with whomever, right, the next best thing in front of us, in order to then create that connection and get that love, right? Which again, what are we trying to get versus what are we trying to give? So it's a side thought. But, I was confirmed with my energetic, I don't know, just not fully feeling aligned with it. And I had a wonderful conversation with him, thanking him so much, and then politely declining, of which case then he told me he was a stripper, which is no judgment on it. Absolutely. Like, I want to make that super clear. It wasn't about that, but it was just kind of like how he was going about his way of life that energetically just wasn't aligned with mine. So
Yes.
I just thought it was funny that then, him being a stripper was hilarious, which I was like, dude, rock on.
Yeah,
do your
dude.
thing. That's clearly why you have an amazing body. So the point is there's never any bad or wrong or negative about sex or whatever. It's just following what's good for you and what's not. So if you're thinking that it's negative for whatever reason, then maybe it's your internal compass that is saying, no, that this isn't correct for me. In which case, then take that energy, spiral it up from your root and bring it into your heart. And let that expand the energy out. And from that expansion, you'll then magnetically attract the person who's in alignment with heart energy, not that's in alignment with just purely sexual energy.
Totally.
That goes for girls and guys.
And remember, guys, the more that you listen to your intuition, the more you will heighten it. So really start honoring it. We're at a time right now in our evolution where the energy is very much... It's so
psychic and intense.
It's so psychic and intense, and now is the best time to really get in touch with your intuition and follow it more than ever. Your turn. Let's go. Thank you for being here, you guys. We appreciate you.
Love you guys so much.
It was a reverb, so I just loved how it got it lined up.
Okay, back to
right.
Hi. We love you. Back to how much we love you. Okay. Are my intuitions about my ex-boyfriend's feelings for me and our future correct? So are my intuitions about my ex-boyfriend's feelings for me and our future correct?
I actually, you know what's interesting about this question? I feel like it's flipped. Where it's like, so they're not correct. I think there's a part of you that desperately wants it to work. And so the question, are my intuitions about my ex feelings for me our future correct? Like, she's wanting it to work out, but I'm sensing like the question is flipped so that we can say yes.
Oh,
in a way,
interesting.
when really I feel like it's a no. So there, it's I would. Say
so it's said like a positive.
Like
so it's almost like you're saying it as a positive to yourself.
But I'm getting that it's a no. Your intuition is not correct. And it's.
I'm sorry. Go.
No, please.
Okay, I'm gonna say, with that 100%. The first thing that I got is it's like. You're at a place where there's a fork, and so there's either the fear side of you, which I think is the part that's asking this question, and if you go down the fear road, then it's not correct.
Yep.
So if you continue harboring then that emotion, if you can release that emotion, whatever it is, whatever the fear is telling you of what you think is or isn't going to happen potentially, and then you're projecting the future that you want. You're trying to then force it and create it into this moment, and then that's control. rather than just letting things unfold the way they're going to unfold, and releasing that fear. If if you can do that, then you'll go down the other path,
Yes.
of which case then, yes, it could be correct. So I got like this, like 2 different crossroads kind of thing. So I get that that's, I don't know, maybe confusing, but the
Yes.
question is like a
And
double-edged.
I got a kind of an interesting energy in the question. And remember, guys, I want to emphasize that the person who loves you is going to let you know, like, babe, I've got you. Like, I don't care how I don't care how flawed you are. Like, you're my girl, you're my man. Like, I love you. I love the essence of you.
Yes.
And you won't have all these question
no
marks.
pedestal crap.
No, you won't have all those
Walk
question
around
marks.
in the house with your sweatpants.
Right.
Nobody cares.
And it's like, yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, next.
Okay. You go.
Um,
Open chakra.
what's a
And
karamate?
what's up, Soul on Fire 42?
This is a question that keeps coming up, so I have to answer it. What are ways we can hear our intuition and decipher between ego and intuition? And I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, I think we have.
Which is when it's
Between ego and intuition?
Yeah, when it's intuition, it's going to come from left field. You're usually relaxed and you just receive images, you receive thought transmissions. And then it doesn't have a sense of impulse to it, like, or reaction, right? The ego will receive a thought or will formulate a thought and then will try to get you to do it now. You gotta let go of this friend now. You gotta get rid of this person now. It's very reactive.
It's very must.
Spirit.
You must
Yes.
do this.
Right, and spirit is never in a hurry. Ego is in a hurry. So whenever you feel like there's that sense of like immediacy, like right now, that's your ego. Sit with it. Let it marinate. Be with it. And if it's your intuition, if it's your ego, it'll subside, so that charge will eventually dissipate. And if it's your intuition, it will continue to be there. It will continue. But usually the ego is very, very impulsive. All right, that's it. That's simple.
Yeah, I explain it very similarly, where your ego will tell you like what you must do. You have to do this. You should do this.
Do it now.
Do it now. What's gonna happen if you don't? Like all the fear program crap.
But
right?
he'll leave you. But he'll leave you.
But what if?
Sleep with him now, or he'll leave you.
Oh.
That's ego. Oh. Spirit is like, don't sleep with him, and he'll put a ring on it.
Okay, and your intuition is like, it's a very subtle suggestion. It's like what would happen if we did this? Or how about you tried that?
Yeah.
What do you think it would do if we tried that? But because it's so subtle, we don't pay attention to that. We pay attention to like the banging of the, you have to do this, you have to do this, because it's the louder voice.
Yes.
And so over a loud voice, you can't hear the really soft, subtle, like, well, what if it was this way?
Yeah.
Or what if you did that instead? Or you have a couple other options.
But once you start to elevate your mind,
Yeah.
the ego or those dark entities can become very beautiful, and they can say to you, why don't you just do that? Like those are I call
very
them
seductive.
I call them shapeshifters,
Ooh.
because they can shift into what appears to be light.
That's true.
But they're not light.
That's true.
So that's a whole other topic. But
You can ask. You can
yes.
specify. So you can claim your power in that moment and say, if you are not of the highest intent,
right,
then speak truth.
It's
or
like when
if
you
you're
meet,
in the highest intent, then speak truth.
Like-
And if they're not in the highest intent, then they won't be able to speak truth to you.
it's like when you meet someone who's like really spiritual, and they're like, hi, my name is Boombagadegudunga, and
I'm gonna help you align your chi.
Yeah, your chakra is so blocked. This tea will help. You're like, get to the fucking point. That's ego too. So it's morphed to something beautiful and slow, and it's like, get to the point, dude.
That's the fake shit. Not saying that you can't do that if you're in like a meditation or something, but let's not do that all. Like, you can do that. Wow, holy shit, look at the moon.
Whoa. The moon is on
Massive full
point.
moon coming up over there. Sorry, ADD.
That's your
beautiful, though.
nickname, Badagadugudunga.
Badagadugudunga.
All right,
Venice
next.
shaman?
Venice shaman. That's her word for it.
Feel good, the shaman.
The shaman, come into my...
I'm going to help you align your chi, darling. Oh, God.
Take your shoes off.
Chi.
We don't want to hurt the floor. We don't want to...
Aligning the chi, that's what we're calling it these days. Okay, Mona, love you, baby girl. Hey guys, someone that hurt. Wait, was it my turn? Was that on your side?
No, it was your turn.
Okay. Someone that hurt me, that was a friend from long ago. Do they even realize how they hurt me?
The first thing, don't worry about that. Don't worry about what they know or what they've awakened to. That's not your responsibility. You want to expand on that?
You're trying to get justice, which would be nice for a lot of things.
Yeah, like if you're a vigilante.
Okay, and we're never responsible for anybody else's actions, reactions, whatever their karma is, whatever their like behaviors are. It's not our job to tell somebody what they should or shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, if you give money to someone on the street, don't worry about what they do with it. If you're going to do it from the goodness of your heart, do it from the goodness of your heart and then release it.
So if they hurt you, one, I would say either have you communicated to them, hey, this really hurt me. Or are you hiding from that and just festering with the emotion and then projecting it out and they don't even know? So one, I would say communication. If somebody's hurt you, then be like, don't point the finger at them and say you did this, but be like, hey, this situation happened and this is how it made me feel. And it didn't make me feel very good and I'd really love to just clear it. Like, so if it's still going on, and it sounds like for, a long time, however long that's been, then you're still festering with those emotions.
I feel like Mona tends to be the one who's like, hey, let's make it right again.
Totally.
But you can't always be that person. And including in romance, you guys, you can't always be the one who's like, hey, I see what I did, and blah, blah, blah. Because you set the stage for you to kind of be like a background in the movie. For you to be like a secondary character.
Yeah.
And so I would say to you, always make sure that like if you're giving, that people can also reciprocate, because then it's gonna be out of kilter.
Give them a chance to apologize.
Yeah.
And reciprocate. Is that what you meant by reciprocate? That's what I got from it.
Yeah, when things go out of kilter, you don't always have to be the one to fix it.
Right. So yeah, I would say either communicate and find out, and if you have communicated it and their actions haven't changed, whatever, blah blah blah, then again, it's not your responsibility. You can't do anything about how anybody else is. You got to own your stuff and not be continuing to be the victim of however it is that they hurt you.
Right. The other thing I want to say, you guys, is when someone has like a parasite where they're competing with you or whatever, they're like a frenemy or whatever it is, if you're always the one to make it right with them when you guys have a falling out, they'll do it again because the parasite is still there. But if they're able to come see you and say, hey, I realize what I've done, there was this parasite that was attached to me, this horrible behavior, and I don't want to be that person, and they take accountability for that, then chances are your friendship has a chance. Okay?
Okay. Whose side are we on?
We're on mine, but you can go ahead. We're both.
We're tag teaming.
Unification.
We're unification.
Hey.
Technically, it's all one side.
When will?
No, go ahead.
Kathleen, is love coming from a yes? So maybe we for this shorter stuff, we can just say a yes or a no.
What's up, Kathleen? I recognize her. She signed up for my webinar. Love you, baby girl. Quick shout out, Reviving Radiance, the free webinar, September 19th. You can go to the link on my bio and sign up for it for you lovely ladies wanting to release all of the X's energy and then find out what's next and really powerful for you.
I try to follow the signs and I find myself wondering how things wind up becoming so hurtful. How do I continue to believe in my faith when this is happening?
I try to follow the signs.
And I find myself wondering how things end up becoming so hurtful.
That's more victim.
It's more of the victim stuff. Yeah. And how do I continue to believe in my faith? Well, the faith is all over this. The faith is trying to get you to stretch it.
Yeah.
So your faith is actually trying to be stretched by you, and where you're going in your mind is like, oh, well, God doesn't love me. God isn't providing for me. Like, so it's that victimhood mentality. So just by recognizing,
Step out of that.
yeah, by recognizing that the faith is in this and is just trying to get you to stretch it, then you'll be a winner in the situation.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Cause and we're in such a time right now. Like we've got these massive storms that are going like over Texas, and then another 3 coming in, and so we have this element of destruction that's coming.
Yes.
And that would then ultimately put us and everybody in a state of fear or panic, which ultimately then is victim state.
Yes.
And so pulling ourselves out of the addiction feeling to go back into then that victim state, no matter what's happening with our planet, with our relationships, with ourselves, we have to pull ourselves out of the addiction to that victim mentality.
Yes.
And step back into
totally,
the middle.
be the winner even when you're seemingly losing, you know? Because I know I've had a lot of times in my life where I get knocked down, but as I'm on the ground, I'm like, they're not ready. Like, I'm about to, like, I'm supposed to be here right now, and I'm going to feel this pain, and I'm going to feel all this stuff, but I already know my wings are about to spread. Like, I already know. So by having that mentality, like, even if someone is kicking you down, but in your head, you're
like,
already
I'm gonna
above
fly,
it.
bitch.
I'm gonna fly, bitch, right? So whenever you're down, see it as an opportunity to connect to those higher realms and try to step into that, like, that outside overview, if you will.
Love that.
And watch yourself. Watch how strong you're gonna be.
Totally.
There are different seasons for different things. There are seasons for shedding, and there are seasons for winning. But you're even winning when you're shedding, and that's where we have to start seeing the beauty in the ups and the downs.
When you're shedding. Yeah.
I mean, think of it. Like, if you were always, let's say, if you're like, let's say, a businessman, and you've never had an ebb.
Okay.
It's always been influx.
Yeah.
How could you ever really interface with those fears that you may have when there is that ebb? Right? So sometimes things have to slow down. There's an ebb and a flow in life with everything emotionally, spiritually, mentally, so that when we are down, we can actually address those fears that then surface.
Yeah.
So.
And I think another thing that's were you
No,
finished
that
on
was it.
I think the other thing that I got for that is you said that you keep following the signs, right? So question to you. So I don't know whether this is correct or not, but this is what I'm getting.
My eyebrow goes up when she's about to say something. Because she always has some
Wait, let's do it together.
truth serums. It's coming. Brace yourself.
Wait, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so you said that you keep following. And something tells me that then, if that's in then the victim, you're waiting for something to happen. You're waiting to follow. You're waiting for the sign to show up. You're waiting for Spirit to hand it to you on a silver platter. In which case, then, to what level are you then taking action with something and not just being the one that's like, okay, I'm over here waiting. Like, when the fuck is this shit supposed to happen? Like, when is it popping off?
Yeah.
Sorry, I swear when I get passionate.
For lack of better words.
But for lack of a better word. Those are technical terms. So, like, where can you then maybe just start with something and take action and then let Spirit come in and course correct you, in which case then you would follow that course correction.
Yes.
You got to start the ball rolling. Spirit doesn't start the ball rolling for you.
Yes.
You got to get it going.
It's a
and
snowball
then it can be
that
like,
then builds momentum.
Yeah, and then it can come in and be like, all right, let's take the ball over here, or let's take the ball over here, and then you turn and ebb and flow with it once you already got it going.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there just waiting, how is Spirit going to be like, here's some momentum.
True.
Here's some motivation.
And tying into that question, see any love for me coming, Phil? Really tired of the shitstorm. Right there, the shitstorm is a negative, it has a negative energy. So I would start really working on yourself and the lack of patience. And I know it doesn't feel good as I say that. I actually just heard your thought. But it's this idea of a shitstorm. Life is beautiful, you guys, and we have to really pay our reverence to Mother Earth for teaching us, for this school, you know, and so let's start really reconditioning the way that we think.
I love that. Yeah,
and,
because it's a similar concept. So it's so the similar concept, and I know that, you know, a lot of women have, right, is, oh my God, every guy is an asshole.
Well, men too.
Men too.
I hear it
Absolutely.
all the time.
Every girl's
There's no
a
one
bitch.
out there
There's
for me.
nobody out there for me. Da da da. Oh my god, girls are assholes. Men are assholes. Everybody's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, so if we keep reiterating that, then we're telling the universe that's what's happening, in which case it will give you what your vibrational words speak that you believe to be happening.
I just got a good quote.
Go for it.
The universe can't relieve what you don't believe. What? The universe cannot relieve what you don't believe. You have to believe
How do you
in
just
it.
come up with these,
I don't know. It just
rhythmic,
comes. I used to write songs.
Oh, that's what it is.
I used to write songs, so I was in that rhythm.
He's a songwriter. Okay, so yeah, you're like got the rhyming like amazingness. The universe cannot relieve what you don't believe. That's badass.
So start believing, you guys. And there is no limitation as to how high we can go and how vast we can become.
Yeah. And even if it doesn't feel like you believe it right now, make it true within your own, like, conscience. Be like, no, this is out there.
Yeah.
There are unicorns. I know that there are.
You don't run me, thought system. I'm the master of my mind.
Master
You're
of
my
my
employee.
mind.
Now go find me my lover. Your thoughts are your employees, people.
Go find me a Viking.
That's the secret right there. Take that and run with it. Your thoughts are your employees. You're the boss. If a thought is running you, put them in their place. You are an employee, baby. You get paid $7 an hour. Go do your job. Bring me back my lover. And
Stop acting like your soul's the employee.
Right?
Ooh.
Oh.
We're such dorks.
Good.
Alright, we're up for another question.
Yeah, your turn.
You guys are amazing. We love you so much. Is everybody having a good time? Is this helpful?
Yes. Oh my god. I think you should take this one because it's too good. Seriously.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. We got hearts going on.
What do you do if your ex reaches out at this point of Mercury? They're weak. They're not ready. They're not ready yet.
Trying to
They're
resolve some stuff.
They're not wanting to address it, so I'll give you the imagery.
They're not wanting to address it.
Let me illustrate it for you.
Let me illustrate.
Mercury brings up a lot in us, right? If it brings up that they miss you or they're like lacking something and then they ride that dragon and call you, what does that say? They're weak. They're not ready yet.
They're not ready yet. In which case,
they're not doing the
don't take
work.
them back yet.
They're not releasing it.
No, totally.
Good.
So that's what it means.
So if your ex has reached out, he's not the one. Keep it moving.
He's not the one.
Yes, angels love. Ignore, ignore, ignore. Yeah, go.
Yes. Let's see.
Damn, that person has some racist stuff going on.
What? Thoughts are what?
Their thoughts are not their employees, they're their slaves. You could book a session with her.
Looks like somebody needs a karma clearing.
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. No slaves.
Karma clearing.
We don't want to whip our ego. That's not...
Your thoughts
that'd be
are
like whipping a child.
Appreciate your employees.
Sorry, I keep getting distracted.
Appreciate your employees. Give them some vacation.
Exactly. What would an authentic...
Right, when you watch Netflix, you're giving them a break.
I don't know what that one was.
When you watch Netflix, you're giving your thoughts a break. Your employees get a break.
Oh, yeah, okay, totally. Yes,
right.
That's absolutely true. Mindless
but we don't want them to be slaves.
No.
Come on.
What would a leader do? Do you like going and working for an employee that like is a total asshole and treats you like you're a slave, or do you want to go to like an executive that really treats you like a leader, where he's a leader, he or she is a leader, and treats you like you're then stepping up into the leadership position? So it's not a whipping. It's a raising. What rhymes with that?
I don't know.
It's a rising. It's not
a
rising.
whipping.
That doesn't rhyme, but whatever.
It's an upliftment.
It's an upliftment, exactly. What were you saying on the graph? Whatever that term was
it's
that we can't...
the diagonal,
the diagonal
upward.
rise on the...
You said it was a...
Climb?
A climb. It was an upward climb. All right,
Pause
cool.
while we try to find
for Luke, because Luke is such what I want. Will it happen soon? It will.
Opening
Luke.
the heart chakra.
It will.
For
I
sure.
hope that helps.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Still. What is this? Danielle. Hi, beautiful. Hi guys, I'm feeling very all over the place. I need some advice. I'm finding it really hard to concentrate in school. Please, any advice for me?
Oh, that's a good question.
Totally. And there's tons of chaotic energy going around. Like, it's all over the place. There's fear energy at the same time with like heart expansion and sexual energy and like all over the place.
So much.
We just got finished with like a massive solar eclipse that we haven't had in I don't know how many hundreds of years. So expect that the energy is going to be all over the place. And try doing a practice, whether it's meditation or something, and focusing all of your thoughts into one place. Because you're kind of letting your thoughts like run rampant.
Yes.
And they're going all over the place. So they're kind of like the leaf in the wind, and there's like a windstorm going on in your mind, and you got to just like calm the storm and focus the energy on one particular place and turn that into an actual practice. You need like a ritual for that.
Absolutely.
That's what I would say.
Good.
Or watch some Netflix.
Watch some Netflix, exactly.
Shut the brain off.
And remember, you're not your thoughts. So think
are
of them
not
as like
your thoughts.
think of them as like little rafts, on a river. You don't have if a thought is like a raft or a boat, you don't have to hop into every boat.
No, you don't.
All right, let them pass.
You don't
keep
have to
going,
go
keep
on a date
going,
with
keep
every
going,
guy.
keep
You
going.
don't have to
And
have
what
an
wants to
everybody.
stay will stay. That's what you have to know. What wants to stay will stay.
I like that a lot. Dude, that moon.
Her name is Serah
kicking.
Delane. If someone
Hi,
can type
beautiful.
that for her, that would be great. Serah Delane.
Yeah, because we can't type on the thing. SERAHDLAINE. Which you tag me a lot in your photos. So go on to Phil's page, and
Okay.
like you'll see a photo of us or whatever, and then he always tags my page on there as well.
This is actually a very good question.
Okay, let's go for it.
Am I safe to keep opening up to the new guy? If you feel so, this is something that I want to address.
Yay.
Whenever you feel like you're not safe yet and your heart is still kind of on alert and you're not quite sure about this person, hear that. Because oftentimes we tell ourselves that there's something wrong with us, or we have some sort of blockage and we need to just drop our walls. Those aren't necessarily walls. They're spirit protecting you from something that may hurt you. Okay? So if ever you have that hesitation, then hear it. You don't you take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
Right? It's a dosage thing.
Exactly. And I've experienced both sides to this fear. So I've experienced where something didn't feel quite right. And I was like, I don't know. Should I keep opening up? Should I not? Like, there was just something, like, you can't put your finger on it. And obviously much later down the line, it wasn't quite right? So that's where I think you're talking about is that intuition, where it's like, pay attention to that. But of course, my curiosity was like, oh, let's find out what's not right here.
Oh, I just got something.
And,
Yeah,
okay,
sorry,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
And with the other thing, though, is the other thing that I've also experienced is, is there a level of being afraid to open to love, being afraid to being open to being happy, right? It's a different kind of fear. So let's say somebody could be coming in and they're absolutely amazing, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is totally different. Are you having the conversation, am I deserving of this? Am I valuable enough for this, right? It's a different fear. So it's not the, oh my God, is he an asshole? It's the, oh my God, am I actually deserving of this level of happiness? So just check with yourself, like, which one it might be.
Yes.
What were you going to say?
And just to add to that, what I found for myself, you guys, is that the universe will send you someone completely different than anyone else that preceded that person. And then, like, if in the past you would attract a man with whom you felt unsafe if you were vulnerable, you'll attract a guy who is turned on by your vulnerability. Who is like, wow, I really like this part of you. And you'll be like, what? But this is the very thing that used to turn off the guys.
In a bad way or?
In a good way.
Oh, okay.
The new person that comes into your life.
Okay, I went somewhere totally different with that.
No, the new person who's going to be in your life is going to like everything about you that didn't work with the guys who weren't right for you.
Okay, yes.
And so then you'll be like, really? I can let go and you're turned on by that?
Okay.
And then that will be a positive thing.
Okay. I went in the total, like, weird other because then they can take it as like, oh, a manipulation opportunity because, oh, look, they're vulnerable.
No.
Yeah, okay.
So see it as a signal from the universe that, wait, this person has a different essence than the other guys that you've attracted
Love that.
Okay?
Love that.
Good. I think it's your turn.
Serah, what up? Similar name. I love that, or let's see, I feel like I've been patiently waiting for a partner and have been somewhat romantically blocked. Any advice for me?
I feel like I've been patiently waiting for a partner and have been somewhat romantically blocked. Ooh, I have it. You're not romantically blocked. You're not.
Congratulations!
You've been patient, and
you don't
your
have a
guides,
broken picker
you
either.
just channeled her guides. You're like, congratulations. Your guides are applauding you, and you're not blocked. It's just that he hasn't made his way to you yet. Maybe he's working on something. But you can go ahead.
No, I totally dig that. Let me tap into this one. Yeah, I totally agree. You're not romantically blocked. I think you know what you want.
I think we've already shifted the energy for her. Now that she knows she's not blocked, that block that she thought she was blocked is gone. Really, it was a self-imposed block.
Yeah.
Which most of them are, but this one was truly fabricated.
Totally.
Yeah.
So follow with the you know what you want. And don't settle for anything less.
That's
you know
right.
your value, and if it doesn't feel like it's, there, then follow that intuition. And it's the same thing. We're all in this. It's coming.
It's coming.
It's so coming. Like, my heart has been, like, expanding for the past, like, few days. And yours, and, like, it's... So, whatever the... Anybody on here, so I want to do it general. Anybody on here that is kind of like, I'm not feeling super heart open, right? Tap in, go deeper within yourself, do a meditation, do whatever you have to do, and find out whatever pain is covering that up.
Yes.
And give it so much love. So a lot of the times, and this is general, right? And I know a lot of you guys already know this, but a lot of the times we're always searching for that person outside of us to then give us the love that we're not giving for ourselves. And we need to flip that into, we want to attract a relationship so that we can give all the love that we have to give.
Exactly.
But if for whatever reason we're like, no, we're not feeling it, then a relationship isn't going to show up because you're not open to giving to even yourself. So why would you then be even giving to anybody else?
I got a really cool download on the session today. Your inner child is like a little wizard. So it's trying to get your attention. So what it will do if it's unhealed, if it's unhealed, if your inner child, that part of you that's lacking love within, right, and you keep looking for it
like
externally, it will be a wizard and will actually conjure up something in your external reality to then get your attention, to get you to pay attention to it.
Yes.
So
and that can be positive or negative.
It can be positive or negative, but remember that the outside world is just reflective of what your inner child needs. Your inner child, give it what it needs. And so
just ask yourself then, what is it that I really deeply need?
Yeah, but did you guys get what I said? Inner child, wizard, magic, to get your attention, is craving your attention. It's like a little plant that wants to be watered, or a little dog that wants kibbles and bits.
Yeah. And sometimes it will act like a little rambunctious brat and then bring you things that are like trying to get your attention in a totally different way.
This is a good one.
Our inner child.
And we can both help with this because we were in entertainment. Singing has always been my passion, but how do I release my gift fully?
I love his name. Carly and Caitlin's mom. I love that.
So, did you get that?
No, I didn't. Okay.
Singing has always been my passion, but how do I release my gift fully? Ooh. So, you don't have to release. So it's not so much the gift that you have to release. God, universe, whatever you believe in, gave you that gift. It's an expression of yours. It's how you connect. For me, when I sing, if I have an entity attached to me, it's gone in 2 seconds because I belt it out and I truly I pretty much chase it away just through my voice. Yes. So your gift is yours. God gave you that, okay? But you have to release what you wanted from that gift. Did you want fame from it? Did you want, were you doing something that was causing you to feel depressed through it? So maybe you need to grieve that And then
what you were trying to get.
Yes.
And then focus on what you're trying to give.
Right.
What your gift would then give and offer the rest of the world.
Nice. And then you'll build you'll have to kind of rebuild your relationship with your voice. That's what you'll have to do. In a way, like I sing for myself, I sing for the planet when no one's looking, whatever it is that you do.
And going into the intention, right? So you can be just a singer or just a great singer. Like when I listen to this one sing, nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's a secret. He doesn't sing with just a voice. Like you can feel like soul and heart and all these amazing things, like an experience coming through. So it's like, what's your intention behind then this beautiful, powerful vibration? Because that's the gift that then you're offering to other people. So if you're going to activate somebody with a vibration, what's going to be the intention behind that? And so maybe that's something you got to find out first before then you get into everything else. Create that foundation, because otherwise you'll get wrapped up in the whole fame thing and the what you think, whatever pedestal, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, totally.
It's Hollywood. Been there, done that, around the block.
That's so sweet. Do you notice how connected you are? That's so nice.
We do.
So sweet.
We're like little galactic twins. Little galactic, what do we call it? Soul siblings.
Soul siblings.
What should I do with dating that goes very slow? Like, do you mean on the date is slow? In which case, then they're not your same speed.
What should I do with dating that goes very slow? I don't understand. Is the objective to have sex and it's taking too much time? Are you having a meal when you should have an espresso? What's I'm not sure.
Are you trying to get fast food when you really want home cooked meal? What's your intention for wanting? What's your intention for wanting it? It sounds like there's a very impatient thing going on. So what are you guys trying to get versus what can you then offer to give? Don't just be like, I want a relationship so then I can get love and I can be loved and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, have a relationship so then you can like learn more about yourself, dive deeper into yourself and somebody else, create amazing, deep, gnarly, passionate sex like you've never had before. Like,
exactly.
You can't do that when you're trying to get something.
Here's a good one. This guy keeps coming back into my life over 3 years, but I've just started this relationship with his cousin. There's a Maury for that. Believe it or not, I don't know where to go with this one. All right, so the first thing I would ask yourself is the intentionality pure? Did you get with this cousin vindictively
because you couldn't get with him
to get your revenge? If so, I would say, stop all activity right now. If you happen to have a true connection with him, don't say anything. Foster the relationship, see where it goes. If in 1 year from now you guys have a legitimate exclusive relationship, at that point you can say it to the guy. But we don't want to hurt people when it's not needed.
No. Like, if you don't really genuinely feel for that person and you're going to find yourself thinking about the other person the whole time, then they're not worthy of you.
Yes.
And do them the favor of letting them go, because you're sitting there and you're not even going to give your full attention or energy to them. It's like, don't do that to somebody.
And there's lines that we shouldn't cross, you guys.
Oh, crap.
And if you're playing in that small circle of people, it's really not healthy.
Yeah.
There are billions of humans out there. Like, just choose someone else, honestly.
Totally. All right, we got 2 minutes.
We've got 2 minutes.
Left.
You guys are so awesome.
You guys are amazing. We do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we usually, make little notifications for that. But join on anybody on my side that hasn't followed him, which I don't know if there's anybody, but follow Amazing Feel Good.
And then whoever isn't following Serah Delane, go ahead and follow her.
Yes.
She's offering an amazing webinar.
I'm so excited.
When is it exactly?
September 19th. Unfortunately, it's just for ladies right now. I will be doing one for you amazing gentlemen
But
soon.
You do gentlemen sessions right now.
I do gentlemen sessions. I do lady sessions. I do all that. This one has to do with, this one's called Reviving Radiance. It has to do with releasing all of the patterns from your past relationships.
Yes.
And so it's a free webinar, and it's I'm going to give you some really amazing soul secrets that I've gained when doing that, and then that is an introduction into a mastery course.
She's like a spiritual hacker. She goes into your mind to help you clear the viruses, not put them in there.
Not put them in there. Exactly. So yes, we love you guys
And
so
to
much.
everyone who had like twin flame questions today, don't get stuck in labels.
Yes.
Like the labeling, nah. Like you have, just enjoy love for what it is, you know, and be willing to look at your lessons.
Yes, and do some meditations to open up your heart.
Yes.
Because we're all needing more of that on this planet now. Let's anchor it the F in.
Yes. We love you guys.
We love you guys so much. Bye.
Bye.
See you next Tuesday. Oh, hang on.